Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new Sims 4 video, and as you can tell by me sat here as always, we are not playing a traditional Sims 4 video today. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that I have been thinking about for a little while. I will say I have covered at this point a lot of the topics that I kind of want to talk about. There's not that many big ones unless new news is released. I believe that is a roadmap or a roadmap that is meant to be released soon. I have a gut feeling it will happen when I'm on holiday and I'm not going to be able to talk about it until quite a late point. But anyway, that's for me to worry about and not for you. So without further ado, let's get into the conversation for today's video. You'll have to bear with me because I think that audio was despicable, but it's because I forgot to turn the mic on. Rookie error. Okay. Anyway, as you can probably tell by the title already, we're going to be talking about whether the bugs and the glitches in The Sims 4 is currently the reason why people are not wanting to play The Sims. Let's get into it. You might be wondering, how did I come up with the idea of this topic? Is this something that I've just plucked from somewhere? The answer is no. I'm not going to lie, I've been getting into Reddit a lot lately and I love looking on all of the little forums on Reddit. Love it. And I stumbled upon The Sims 4 forum, which I never knew existed, so that's good. And actually as part of one of the threads, is this how Reddit works? One of the threads, does that make sense? Forums, I don't know, one of the threads, forums, whatever, basically was on about has The Sims 4 become unplayable? And I think that is a really, really good question, because I have to admit I'm going through a little bit of The Sims 4 drought myself in terms of playing it privately. I still play it for YouTube obviously, but in terms of actually playing it for my own enjoyment and fun, the yearning to do that is so much less than it was even just a few months ago, which is why I've kind of struggled in posting current household videos and all the rest of it, because I never want to post something that I'm not enjoying or that it doesn't look like I'm enjoying. But yeah, has The Sims 4 become unplayable? I actually think it has, if I'm being brutally honest. And let's get into why. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have been complaining about bugs and glitches for years at this point. Not I only just kickstarted my channel back a few months ago, but there is a very old video that dates back to 3 years ago, which I think is still on my channel. And I think, well, I know it is called Is The Sims 4 Dying? And I think in that video, I speak a lot about the fact, if you want to hear 18-year-old Emma really ramble, I intrigue you to go watch it. But yeah, I basically said, the bugs and glitches that I'm experiencing in this game, it doesn't make it fun. And I'm going to be honest, at the time, my big one was simulation lag. No matter what I did, I would download mods or do whatever, simulation lag was my biggest issue in The Sims 4. And to be honest, I still get it in my games. I do notice when I have quite a lot of Sims in my household, or if I'm playing in a bit of a furnished lot, if that makes sense. There's a lot of furniture, there's a lot of, pixels or whatever. I notice my game runs so much worse, which is a bit annoying, because then I feel you're kind of limited to a small family, a small household, just to make the game run a bit better. The other thing that I have experienced really recently, because I've been playing with teens quite a bit, both in my current household and just in my gameplay, and I'm noticing a lot more that apparently there was a big high school years glitch. Apparently they fixed it and caused another glitch to happen, which is why the UI, I think I complained about it in my part 2 of the Runaway Teen, Stress Teen series, and I complained that the UI was broken. I thought it was down to UI cheats being out of date. Updated it. It's not UI cheats, babe. It's The Sims 4. The Sims 4 has yet another bug. And the annoying thing is that the bug that it is to do with how the high school UI is working. So it's quite a big part of that bloody pack. Do you know what I mean? The whole bloody premise of that pack is to go to high school with your teens. But how are you meant to do that if the UI isn't working properly? You can't. It's so laggy and it's so buggy when you take your kids to high school. It's actually infuriating to play. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still bugs that have not been fixed from years at this point. I'm not even sure whether they have confirmed that they fixed the for rent bug, which basically was corrupting people's saves / actually just corrupting people's games, which is not good. I also don't know whether they fixed fixed Dine Out. Like, Dine Out is basically an unplayable pack for most people, I will say, me included. The only way I've gotten Dine Out to work is by installing the mod that basically fixes it. But why should I have to download a mod in order to fix a pack? As much as I'm very grateful for that mod creator, thank you so much for doing what EA can't. But it's so infuriating. Now, obviously, with a game that is over 10 years old, there's going to be bugs and there's going to be glitches. Although I haven't said that there shouldn't be, really. But I understand why there is as it develops and as, you know, you get more and more DLC. Like, I understand that there would be bugs and glitches when all the DLC is trying to work together. But I don't think that's right. And I actually think that I haven't noticed as many people mention The Sims lately in terms of playing it for enjoyment. And I think a big part of why maybe The Sims 4 sounds like it's on a downward trajectory is because of the fact that there are so many bugs and glitches which are kind of making the game less enjoyable to play. And admittedly, like, at the moment, even when I'm recording videos, I'm getting a lot of better exception things, and it's things that are not related to my mods or anything like that. It is the game being broken itself. Now, I've spoken before in the past about the fact that The Sims 4, if we go back to its foundation, go back to its roots, then it was never really ever set out to be, like, it was kind of meant to be like a mobile game. So the coding, there's been arguments in the community that the coding is not what it should be for a game, and basically that the coding is kind of breaking on itself with every single update and every single pack that is being released. Now, to be fair, those rumours have existed pretty much since launch, which does make me think that there probably is some foundation behind it. Secondly, because I think that I remember at the time of The Sims 4 being released that there was a big thing about like a mobile game or something. So anyway, rambling. The point is, the bugs lately have gotten worse. Like I said, I was moaning about this 3 years ago and I'm still here complaining about it because nothing's been fixed. Well, things have been fixed, but then more things get broken, so it's like a tit for tat. Now, as far as I'm aware, the Sims team did announce maybe about a year ago now that they were launching a second team specifically made for dealing with bugs, glitches, and all the rest of it. My kind of question is, why haven't we been getting more and more bug fixes? Because I feel like about a year ago, we were getting quite constant updates, but I kind of feel like they've slowed down a lot recently, and yet the game seems actually more buggier than ever. Now, the thing is, you would think this would be quite a big priority for The Sims 4, because for EA as well. Because if the game becomes breakable and unplayable, well, people aren't going to play it, and people then aren't going to buy your packs, because if they can't play the actual game, what's the point in buying a new pack just because it exists? And I do worry that's the direction that we're going into. And there's a lot of things. Now, the problem is there's a lot of content creators, I think, online that are very quick to like make fun of the bugs and make fun of the glitches in the game because they are pretty strong supporters of EA, which I don't mind. Like, people are entitled to what they want to think, and that's fine. And equally, like, EA are probably paying a lot of these people a lot of money, so I would probably also do it through a chat as well. No, joking. Like to think I like to think that I stay true to my morals, but who knows? Anyway, alas. That is actually a conversation that I want to have on another day. But for now, we're not doing that. Anyway, I do worry that there's like two halves of The Sims 4 right now, which is like the half which is like trying to still promote the good things that exist in The Sims 4. But even if you look at like popular creators' videos, the game might crash, the game will have like glitches or whatever. Like, sometimes I watch Little Simsy's Legacy, and like her game crashes and she plays pretty vanilla as far as I'm aware. So that just proves how broken the game is with nothing. Could you imagine paying £1,000 basically for a game that doesn't really work, or that like crashes on you? Like, these are issues that shouldn't be happening. 1, 10 years in, and 2, like £1,000 in. Do you know what I mean? I do wonder sometimes what is going on in The Sims 4 and EA. The thing is, I feel like sometimes when people say like, oh, why are you criticizing EA, or why are you criticizing Sims 4? And sometimes I do sit back and go, really, is it that deep? But this is actually an issue that is important, I think. Like, forget all my other videos about whatever, but this is actually quite an important one, because at the end of the day, if there's that many bugs and glitches and you can't play the game, then what is the point in the game? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is going on? I do think it's ridiculous at this point that we are still having this conversation 3 years later about bugs and glitches. Like, it's normal to get it with like your newer packs perhaps that have been like released and there's a bug that maybe conflicts with a pack that they didn't test or whatever. Fine, valid-ish, I guess. But to have like completely new glitches coming from all different packs, I think is crazy. And it's annoying because some packs are just basically unplayable. If I think about For Rent, there is a bit of the residential rental issue right now. Like, that's the big issue that's causing a lot of the corruption. So you've got that to deal with. If you think about Dine Out, that's literally £20 for a pack that doesn't work without a mod, which is fine and grateful the mod exists. It shouldn't be sold if it's not playable. The same thing with My Wedding Stories. Weddings run horribly in the game if you have that pack. It's just not a great look, is it, for EA to be selling broken packs, and at this point to be selling a broken game. Now, I know The Sims 4 is technically free, so like then they're not selling The Sims 4 for profit, but the reason that they've made it free is because they make a lot of money from the DLC, because people will go, well, I've got the free game, now I can spend that money that I would have paid on buying The Sims 4 on DLC instead. But I don't think it's fair that they're selling broken packs, and I do think they should take them off market personally, but I just think EA are too greedy to do that. But I think it's a shame. Anyway, I also would like EA to focus on actually fixing the game before new packs. Now, I know that there's already been a new pack that's been leaked. I've already done a video on it. Maybe even by the time that you're watching this, because I'm pre-recording, that they might have even been announced. And I know that they've got a roadmap in place for other packs too, which does worry me a bit, because I just think they really need to focus on actually fixing the game versus putting new stuff out, which is going to cause even more problems. I just think it's crazy at this point that we're still having this conversation. I think it's crazy that a corporation cares that much about greed, that they're kind of willing to chuck their reputation to the British well. Because at the end of the day, if The Sims 4 really does start to break more and more, people will actually have physically no choice but to stop playing. Like, if I physically cannot play it on my laptop without it crashing or without a glitch or a bug, which is kind of makes it hard to play the game, then I'm just not going to play it, because I'm going to be honest, there's other games out there which are easier to play. Like right now, I'm loving 2Pixelia, which is a completely different vibe, mind you, and obviously it's pixels, so I know it's not everybody's favorite art style, but I quite like it. The point is, I'd rather play that game where I don't encounter as many crucial bugs and glitches thus far than play The Sims where you have to basically struggle through it to play a game, even for like a day of in-game time. Do you know what I mean? Like, as soon as a game becomes hard to play, it's going to turn people away from it. That's just human nature. So what would I like EA to do? What would I like to see? I would like to see them cut back on the amount of packs they're releasing, and I would like to see more bugs, fixes, and all the rest of it. I don't know at this point whether we are reaching a breaking point in terms of bugs and glitches. Who knows? Are we? Is the game getting beyond the point of repair? Is that the concern? And then at that point, what do EA do? I do think, I know Project Renee is meant to be the saving grace or whatever. We already know that Project Renee is going to be like a mobile game, basically. I think it will also have a computer game, but it's not going to be like The Sims that we play currently. I think it's going to be quite different. And I do actually think that for a traditional player, that people probably aren't going to love it. Having said that, I don't know. I do wish EA would spend time on actually developing an actual Sims 5, if I'm being honest. I think that would go a very long way, because I don't think The Sims 4 is a great game to be ending on. I also just don't know whether The Sims 4, like, The Sims 4 is meant to be this game that is like meant to stand the test of time, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I just don't think it is the game for that. Like, actually specifically coding wise, like, this game I don't think was ever really meant for longevity, which is why after like 5 or 6 years of a franchise, the game started to, like, the game was running fine. In fact, it was probably running a lot better at that point, but since then there's been such a downward decrease in the quality and actually the game working. thing. Like, I feel like most of us that have played the game have experienced a bug, a glitch, whatever, that we just can't solve. And unfortunately, we can't solve it without EA fixing it. And I do think EA should work on that before planning anything else. I just think that unfortunately, we are just living in an era of like pure greed. To be honest, and where companies feel like they can get away with less for more, if that makes sense. And unfortunately, I think that's happened a lot in The Sims 4 lately. I've spoken about it with specific packs and stuff, about how the quality and stuff has gone down, but I really feel like we're seeing it a lot more even with just the general game. But yeah, I do think it's really interesting that EA is still not fixing it, that there are still so many bloody issues with that game, and it's so annoying at this point. Like, I actually feel like it puts me off playing The Sims 4 because I'm just scared and don't want to have to deal with another bug or a glitch. I just can't be bothered. I just want to play this cute little life simulator game and that's it. And they're making it harder to play, and I think it is really turning me off from wanting to play it, if you know what I mean. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. Like I said, the reason I wanted to do this video is because somebody else brought the topic and conversation up, and I thought, yeah, and to be honest, reading that thread, there was a lot of people that agreed. So it's clear that it's not just a me issue when it comes to bugs and glitches, and I actually think that a lot of the Sims community could probably relate with it. I doubt there is one sim out there, even if they've got the best computer in the world, that doesn't experience a bug or a glitch, because it's not even like a spec issue at this point. It's just an actual game issue. Like, the game just doesn't want to work. Anyway, I think we've wrapped it up. Ideally, I think we do need another Sims game at some point. I don't think Sims 4 is going to stand the test of time like EA are hoping it will. I totally get their reasoning about them saying like they don't want players to have to spend more money, but if I'm being honest, I'd rather spend more money at this point. And equally, why are EA just implying that they are going to do the exact same thing in a Sims 5 that they would in The Sims 4, which is milk us dry, because that's the sort of people they are. I think at this point they need to work on a new game. Maybe that's a controversial opinion, maybe it's not. But anyway, I think that concludes that. I could probably go on about it for ages if I wanted to. Anyway, if you have enjoyed listening to me ramble, I will put my Sims 4 commentary playlist somewhere on the screen if I haven't done it already. Sometimes I do it a bit earlier in the video. So yeah, you can go and watch loads of other videos of me rambling. Enjoy. Don't enjoy too much. Anyway, if you have enjoyed, please leave a like, go subscribe if you have not already. Go leave a comment. What do you think about it? Are you encountering bugs? Are you encountering glitches? How is your game running? Am I just unlucky? Because to be honest, I do have custom content and I do have mods. At the same time, I don't feel like I have that many. Like, I actually keep quite a small collection of things. It's not a mod and a custom content issue. It's just the game not working. Anyway, I am done rambling now. I shall see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.